todas partes de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Y por todo yo brindo, desde lo feo hasta lo lindo. Tú eres una prueba que el mundo a mí nunca me brindó. Quería casarme, yo tan loco.
I love these guys. Welcome to the 5 F's to Love live podcast. We're here at Shops on Top in the Eastern Market at 2362 Russell Street. Today, our show, we're going to do a really deep dive on what are the top 5 things. It's the reason why couples tend to break up or grow apart. I know often we don't really take the time to talk to one another to try to figure out what is it that's making us think or believe that we don't have issues, covering them up and not really looking at what the truth is within the relationship. But we're also going to have a little fun today. We're going to play the 5 F's Love card game, which I definitely love. Why? Because I'm the inventor of the 5 F's Love app and card game. And so my co-host, Reggie Dillard, we're here on the podcast because why? We've known each other since college. That's been about 10 minutes, by the way. We don't want to tell our age. So, Reggie, you are so awesome. I really appreciate you being my co-host. And just to let you guys know, he is absolutely an amazing husband and father. I'm single, so we have this perspective from 2 different lenses. So when we do the show, we actually look at what does it take to be an amazing couple from his perspective, and what does it take to be single, a person who actually wants to be married, believe it or not. And that's an opening just in case somebody wants to call me. But let's not talk about that right now. We're here for a separate reason. So, Reggie, what's going on?
Well, I flew into Detroit to be in this live show. It was a great trip. I'm having a wonderful time, having a blast. As Chris has said, we had been friends since at Delaware State.
DSU,
baby. Delaware State University. You better recognize. So, Chris came to me a little while ago about this wonderful podcast and said, "Hey, I think you should be a great host. I think you'll be a great co-host. It's completely everything that I would love to do and be a part of. I love talking about and cultivating relationships, and I'm so happy that you have me here, and I thank you."
So on that note, I must say on behalf of 5 F's, anything that Reggie says or does, 5 F's to Love brand cannot be held responsible, and that is required by my attorney. So I want to say to you guys, you know how you meet people, and this is really funny. And by the way, we do have to do that because wait till the show gets started. You'll totally understand why I had to do the disclaimer. You know how you meet people in life and you never think, oh my God, years later, we're still going to be friends and we're still going to be doing things together. I'm going to tell you, Dr. Missy Johnson is just so amazing to me. We met because we had a mutual mentor who really helped us and cultivate who we were as women and what we wanted to do. He didn't stop and tell us, well, you're a woman and this is just an unreachable opportunity or option. You know what he told both of us? You can do this. What do you need for me to help you do this? And he pushed us along the way. And it's so funny. Now we're sitting in this space together. And I'm not going to tell her big news, but she's getting ready to do something like Rockstar Amazing. And I'm really glad to embrace her in my moment when I feel like I'm doing something a little Rockstar Amazing, which is launching this app. And I really hope this compatibility helps you find your one true love. But you'll find out more about that later. Let me tell you, welcome. So I just really love her to have her as a guest, Dr. Missy Johnson.
Hello, beautiful. I love you too. Glad to be here. And our mentor, he would be absolutely, I could see him sitting in the audience, just like smiling, softly smiling. Because, he didn't give all that.
I know.
But he would be softly smiling. Yes.
Yeah, I think he would be.
Yeah.
And I have to do a shout out to his wife, Dr. Hines. She really embraced all of us.
Yeah, she did.
Into her home, and he really did a lot for us. So I said, sometimes you really don't understand the impact people have on your lives. And you see both of us sitting here, and it's so amazing because I think we're going to reflect back on this a year later and just say, oh my God, I didn't know you were on that cover of that magazine.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just us. We don't really see that, but we know that it's coming and it's happening for us. So my next guest, I want to say to you, it's funny because obviously if you're looking at him, you realize he is definitely a person who's physically fit. But not only that, he has this amazing book that's going to be coming out. And it's really going to help you shift your mindset on what you think about yourself as an African American and how you fit in the timeline of religion. And it's not a movement in sense of cultivating one religion or one concept of what we are within that, but it's understanding who we are as African Americans in that space. I will not tell you the name of the book, no more than that, until he releases it next year, but I'm going to tell you it's a must-see item. Now, on a separate note, as he sits there, I just want to say this body belongs to this man, not in a biblical way, but because he's my personal trainer, he's also a dietitian. I know you guys would love that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say to you, he is the best personal trainer. He's very supportive. He calls me every day and he checks on me. Wallace Stanciel is just an outstanding person. He keeps me motivated. He always sends me words of encouragement. I really love having him on the show, and wait till you hear his perspective. I may need to do a disclaimer for him.
Uh-oh.
So Wallace Stanciel, thanks so much for coming on the 5Fs to Love podcast.
There's no problem. I really, really love your platform, and I think it's a great conversation for really get deep into a relationship conversation.
Yes.
And I'm glad to be here with you. And I just can't wait to jump in some of your questions.
Okay, well, I guess we just transitioned us into our conversation today. So I always tell my co-hosts, rock it out. So you go ahead and open it up for us.
All right. Well, today we're going to deal with why do couples fall out of love, or why do they break up? And I have some questions that I have prepared for the guests, and they don't know what the questions are. Can I go ahead and answer?
I think you should, because we want to get the show started. But listen, for our viewers at home, we really do appreciate you taking the polling. So we are going to give your responses to the top 5 reasons why couples fall out of love. But first, we want to hear from our guests and the questions that we have for you.
All right. Dr. Missy.
Yes, sir.
My first question is, what is your definition of being in love?
Whew. From the beginning when I got married or now?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Well, I would have to say the definition of love, being married now and then, is a person who supports you when you're doing something good or doing something bad. Sometimes you have differences, but they just support you. It doesn't mean that you necessarily agree, but they support you.
What would support look like to you?
Well, support for me, let me say this. I've been married. I don't know how long I've been married, but
He's
I was
watching, Missy. He's watching.
he can watch, but I can put an estimate on it. It's like 23, 4, 5 years, something like that.
I see all the bling. I'm over here like.
But my husband showed me how to love.
Oh.
Because I didn't really know what it looked like.
Oh, wow.
And that happened in the 17th year of marriage.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because he was a good guy. He's a good guy. He's cool. I mean, he's on it. Like, he the bomb. But I just didn't really know what love looked like. And when I found out, I remember I was in a car accident. And I was in a car accident. I had lost my memory for like 3 months. And my memory wasn't like really, really sharp. I knew he was my husband, but it was like really, really fuzzy because I couldn't put things together when I went to go see my neurologist. And one day I was sitting in the chair and I'm like, why is he crying? Because I had so much pain. I used to get shots and everything. And he was sitting on the steps. And I said, you must really love me.
Wow.
And he shook his head, I do. But I couldn't process it at that time because I didn't really, that was all new to me. And the part is so crazy, I had never from that time, I always called my husband by his first name, but I never called him husband. So I called my girlfriend on the phone. I said, girl, I got to tell you something. And she said, what is that? I said, I think I'm about to call him husband. And and she started crying. And I said, why are you crying? She said, because I never thought I would hear you say that.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So for everybody out there, understand this. If you're way long in your marriage and things are bad, a good case of amnesia can go a long way.
And that's and that I preach because I'm a living witness. Won't he do it?
I would need to get a little taste of amnesia.
Our viewers, I have to say, anything that Reggie says or does, the 5 best friend cannot be held responsible. Okay. All those psychiatrists and neurologists out there, like, did he just say that? Yeah, Reggie just said that.
No, I think that was.
I think that's beautiful.
I think that was awesome.
Well, let me just tell you this. So one day I came downstairs and I was in the kitchen and I asked him, and I said, do you mind if I call you husband? And he said, yes. And from that point on, it was like weird in the beginning. I was like, that's my husband.
That's beautiful. And you know, I think for me, the idea of that word, saying husband, as a woman, it feels like you belong with somebody, or you know what I mean? You belong to someone. Like
I had to learn
connected. Right.
I had to learn it. I didn't. When I started saying, I ain't know all that.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of times people don't think from that perspective, but I look forward to that. I look forward to being able to say that this is my husband, you know, and not just, you know, my friend, my rada-da, my right. Dude, right? Because I just kind of think you reach a point in your life where that's value. And I'm going to say to you, I'm not a crier, but I almost grabbed some tissue because that was a moment for me, because I love that. I love that you were going through something mentally. Yeah. And I can, and by the way, I had a very serious incident occurred that, you know, I had an issue. And I can understand where you're not remembering things. And I want to say to you, that's beautiful. So now at this moment, when you call him husband, how does that feel inside as a woman? Like, do you get like that moment, like, oh my God, this is like magical?
No.
Oh my God. She didn't mean that. If you're watching, she did not mean that.
No, it's not magical.
What is it?
It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh. See, why are you, girl? You know I got these tissues right here. Don't make me do these tissues. Oh my God.
You know, I don't be saying it all the time. I like wearing it out. But I be saying, that's my husband.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. Okay. So I don't know, Wallace, what you're going to say that's going to beat all that. But right?
I was about to ask Wallace,
right?
You know, what does your definition of being in love mean to you?
Well, right now I'm single.
Okay.
Put that out there. You know,
is that a shot call?
For anyone watching, Wallace is available and he is single. That's the cutaway for his side commercial. Now back to Wallace and his statement. Okay, so there you go.
I think, first of all, you have to find out the definition of love, you know, in order to be in love. Love is all about caring for someone. And we all know that, I guess it goes both ways. You know, you got to care for someone to be in love. Then once you start caring for that person, I guess it all depends on the level of love that you have for that person. You know, I think because right now there are certain traits that I'm looking for in a person, you know, to be in love with.
Oh, wow.
You know,
can you share? A few. Don't give me the list.
Ladies, I'm going to say right now, if you're interested in Wallace, you might want to start taking
down.
Right. Again, this is a cutaway for Wallace's commercial. Now back to Wallace and his statement.
I think first one I think is very, very important is friendship.
Oh, wow.
You know, definitely have to be friends. Definitely have to be friends. And that takes time to develop, you know, because you have to date, you have to get to know the person. Like come in. Then after you like a person, then the caring come in. You start caring for the person. You know, and like everything else, you know, looking for someone, you're looking for that financial balance. You know, I think that's important to try to establish a relationship. You know, because you can't do anything without finance.
That's very true.
You can't do absolutely
and
nothing.
I want to say the people who have attempted that, I'm pretty sure it didn't end very well,
Right.
because you need to be able to maintain it. And that's actually one of the polling questions is finance. Is finance one of the reasons why people fall out of love? And believe it or not, I don't want to give away, but I think that's like number one, which is one of the major reasons why people do fall out of love. I mean, because you're having these conversations and you want to grow together. So I definitely value what you're saying, especially as a single person. You've established what's important to you. Right. And I love that. So
and
I think
plus,
that's great.
I don't want to give too much away, because certain traits you're supposed to find in a person. You
Don't
want
Right.
to tell the person.
Right.
Mhm.
But one of the important traits that I'm looking for is faith.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Faith is having a good relationship with God, because it's important for you to have a relationship with God first before you invite somebody else into your relationship to have the same faith that you have.
I love that. And
That's
when
cool.
you guys, when you get a chance, I really look forward to the app being launched and released. That's actually one of the F's. And it's funny because when we're doing our focus groups, that was one of the things where I would ask a person, I would say, are you guys having disagreements? And there was a couple who went through that, and their F's rated differently. And I said to them, I said, do you understand faith is important to your wife? It's her number one, but it's your number five. And she said, how did you know? It's just, that's what we argue about every Friday and Saturday. Are you going to church with me? Because her faith was so important. So I like that as a single person, you've already outlined specifically what your core values are. And that's the whole thing that has to do with the compatibility app. Your top 5 F's are your core values, the things that you value most is important to you. So by the way, ladies, this is another cutaway for Wallace. He's already told you 2 of his top 5 F's, which is finance and faith. Okay, so now back to our show. So, Reggie, thank you so much for giving us that information about, what love is to you. Reggie didn't ask me, so I don't know. Are you asking me?
Well, Chris, what is your personal definition of being in love?
So my personal definition of being in love is someone accepting you no matter what. It's the respect that you give a person regardless of the situation. And I think oftentimes when you're in a relationship, we forget about respect and we forget about the love no matter what. And the love no matter what means if I put on 50 pounds, if I put on 60 pounds, if I lose my great paying job, if my hair falls out, right? If one of my fingers gets stuck in a trap and the tip is gone, that's the love no matter what. And I think a lot of times people shift and change their minds about who you are and what it is that they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I think I got from my parents. My father loved my mother no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
With seizures and strokes, he loved her no matter what.
Wow.
And that's what I saw. So I think for me, I'm just looking for that real love. Somebody to just, at the end of the day, when I'm not in this space and I'm at home and I'm just Chris, that you will embrace me and just love me and just tell me, as I always say, you're awesome. Like, I just love you for the person that you are. That means no makeup. Like when I get up first thing in the morning, you look over, don't go, wait till you put that makeup on and call a brother up, call me back. I want you to look at me in the morning and tell me I'm beautiful.
Absolutely.
My dad used to say that to my mom all the time. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what love is to me. Yeah.
I think right now we should play Mary J. Blige's I'm Looking for a Real Love.
Oh my God, could we not play that right now? Oh my God, could we? But of course I know, real love. Don't sing too much. By the way, if Reggie sings more of that song, we will not be paying for any credits, okay? That's the reason why we're together and we sit next to each other in the live, because I have to tell him, like, 5 F's to love. It will not be responsible.
Reggie, what do you think about?
Yeah, Reggie, what do you think of love?
Well,
and by the way, everybody, his beautiful wife is watching right now. Now let's hear it.
Sweet, I love it.
I view love and in love very different.
Yeah.
I believe we can love any and everybody, and I think that's biblical. But the in love, I think, is more like, it's love is unconditional. And like comes with conditions.
Yeah.
I love you, but I don't like the way you're talking to me right now.
Yeah.
I love you, but I don't like the fact that you spent all our money last week in doing this. So the in love, I believe, are some of those conditions that satisfy our personal flesh. You know what I mean? Like, she just does it for me like this. Or, when you're dating and call in and they call your name a certain way. Hi, Reggie. You're like, oh my God. and it's different. When they call your name, you hear it differently than anybody else. It's just like when you were in trouble years ago, when your mom called your name differently. When you was in trouble, you was like, oh man, what'd I do?
Right.
You're right. There is a difference.
It was a difference in the tone. It was a difference in, you could hear the smile on the other end of the phone that was saying, I just want to be in their space right now. And for me, I think the whole thing of being in love is finding those conditions between you and your friend that y'all like together. You know what I mean? Like, I like this and she likes it too, or she doesn't like it, but she likes the fact that I enjoy it, or I don't like that, but I like the fact that I can help her enjoy that. And for me, in love and love is very different, because I'm not in love with my mom and dad. You know, I love them. You know what I mean? I'm only in love with my mate. And sometimes those conditions, sometimes they aren't always met. You know, we don't like each other all the time, but we love each other every day.
And I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm totally putting this business in the street right now. So today, Reggie was playing some songs, and it was so funny. He was putting together something here for me so we can get ready for the podcast tonight. And he looked at me and he says, this is the song that my wife and I at our wedding. And it was so, if you could just see his face in that moment, he went back to that moment when they got married, and it was like I was invisible, right? But I was so like, just like touched by it. And I said to him, he says, you know what? I'm going to send this to her because I want her to know that I'm thinking about her. Okay. So I want to say to you, it's moments like that where I look at him, and because we've known each other so long, that I thought that was such a loving, touching moment, that we were in the middle of getting all of this together. And the song came up and he said, wow, like, no, don't do it. By the way, Reggie can't sing, so that's what I'm saying.
Can't sing, love to sing.
Can't sing a lick. God bless his wife. But I'm going to tell you, that was such a beautiful song. What's the name of your song at your wedding? You played at your wedding?
Nothing Has Ever Felt Like This Before by Rochelle Farrell. And
oh my God. So you know, I almost went into full song. That was like an almost, and that's what he did. He sent it to his wife, and I was like this, I want somebody to send me a song. I can't wait till somebody sends me a song, right? And just say, babe, just because. Like, I like that kind of stuff.
It might be.
Really? Really? The get it? I just want to say, I can't even do a disclaimer for Reggie right now. Reggie, next question. I cannot believe you. I get a dance and pole song? Who gets a dance and pole song?
You said I just want somebody to sing you a song.
Whatever. I'm trying to say, can I get it when I get that feeling?
He's thinking of you.
He is. Let me tell you something. Reggie knew me when I didn't really talk that much. So, like, almost at all. But now Reggie knows me in this space. Reggie, are you doing a face?
What?
When we were in college. Really? Don't even do it. Trust and believe. I didn't talk that much in college.
She argued.
Yeah. Well, I was little and everybody was bigger than me. I don't like people pushing me around.
I'm not mad at you.
And plus, I didn't know they did some things down at Delaware State I wasn't familiar with.
You said where?
Delaware State.
Delaware State, baby.
So. HBCU. Okay, back to the show. Sorry, because we have our moments and sometimes we forget everybody's around. Next question, Reggie.
Next question is, Dr. Missy.
I'm afraid.
Do you need to be in love constantly to have a successful relationship?
No.
Wow, what does that look like? Like, what does that mean? Do you need to be in love consistently?
Constantly. You know how
like, can I take an off day or something?
Right. You know how, especially in today's day and age, because we're in this TikTok society, everybody has to be constantly stimulated to be engaged. And a lot of times people feel in relationships, I'm not feeling that, and I'm not like in love anymore. Mm-hmm. Is that necessary to be in a successful relationship?
I would say it probably depends on the person and the relationship that they have. I don't have to have it because I know who my husband is to me and he knows who I am to him. And because of that, whether it's a good day or a bad day, I don't want to be bothered with you, he don't want to be bothered with me, it doesn't change the fact that we're in love. Oh, I'm very sure of that.
Wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I like that answer.
That is. Yeah. That's surety or surety. That's that goes a long way. That cancels out a lot of the
Cancels a
insecurities.
lot.
Out a lot of those insecurities about, you know, what are you thinking about me right now? You're
Right.
like, you know what I'm thinking.
Right.
I'm just watching the game right now.
Right. I
It
can't give you the
wasn't
time.
always,
that
it
you
wasn't
want.
always like that.
It
Okay.
wasn't?
So you guys
No.
grew into that.
Yeah, and I think it was me.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I know it was me.
Okay.
I had to grow into that.
Is there something right now that you would like to tell some young ladies out there
Hmm.
about that transition that you made from where you were to where you are? Because a lot of times, as a man,
Hmm.
we see that there's guards up or there's walls,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in denial.
Yes.
No, I'm not. And then, you know, like you had a breakthrough,
A big breakthrough.
a little bit of amnesia.
Oh my God.
Yes. That's real talk.
For my attorney, I have to do my
probably
disclaimer.
forgot a lot of the
Reggie.
bad stuff at
I
that
didn't.
time.
Not to
So, I'm gonna give you a platform. What would you like to tell a young lady out there who's going through that particular, I'm not gonna be
in this marriage. Yeah, they may think that they don't fit in the marriage, right? They're struggling with it, but you made that transition due to a head injury, and you
Mhm.
realized in that moment,
Hmm.
this is my husband, right? And
Yes.
you embraced it. So what would you say to a young woman like Reggie's point that just they're not understanding the transition?
It's a lot that I can say, but the one key point that I would say is to talk about everything, be it good, bad, or indifferent, because that's when you're really going to find out if this is a make it or a break it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to make it or I'm out. Talk about everything. And just because you talk about everything and you don't agree, it doesn't mean that you're going to go your separate ways. You just have to work through it. And if you can't work through it, then it's time for you to exit. But I would say talk about everything.
You use the word agree. And I know that I have had this conversation in my own relationship and with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Does agreement and understanding mean the same thing to you?
No.
Are two different things.
No, absolutely not.
So
you can understand the person's perspective but disagree with them.
Okay.
And that's 100%. I mean, but that's a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I say this all the time, when you come together in a marriage, it's like two different companies. You've had a life and I've had a life. So it's a merger. Yeah. So my thing is, your life experiences are going to bring something else to the table that mine isn't. So you may be 100% understanding what you're saying, but I haven't walked in your shoes.
Right.
So I'm not understanding. So the thing is, I could understand, but I could still disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's, I think the way you do it is respectfully
Mm-hmm.
and tastefully. You need to, like, okay, honey, listen, 100% I'm with you. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm not really game for it, but I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to roll with you.
Mm-hmm.
But when it goes south, though, we're going to look at my perspective, but I'm going to roll with you, though, because I'm feeling you in this moment. And that's me. Like, I would do that. And I think that's what Missy says. Like, we're not going to always agree, but I understand what you're saying, and I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I want to add for this in my relationship, sometimes my husband don't agree, and sometimes he don't even understand.
Wow. So what do you do in those moments where he doesn't understand and he doesn't agree?
I know who I am inside the marriage.
Okay.
I have my own identity.
Wow.
And he has his. And with him, sometimes I don't agree and I don't understand. But like I said earlier, I support him and he supports me.
That's understandable.
That's great.
That's understandable.
That is.
And I agree. I want to go to you.
Okay.
Mr. Wallace. In a relationship, do you constantly have to be in love, or those feelings of in love, for it to be a successful relationship?
Well, I'm going to say yes, because there's different levels of love, different levels. Like I said before, to be in love with a person, you have to care about that person.
Yes, sir.
Caring about that person is very, very, very important. And while you're with that person, you spend multiple time with that person, so you're getting to know that person. So you have to allow that person to have some space. That person have to give you some space.
Mm-hmm.
So when y'all come together, you have a lot to talk about. You know, how was your day? How you doing? You know, you can sit back and plan for different events. You know, knowing what the person likes and dislikes is important.
Yes.
You know, because that's come down to pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is another level of love because you're showing care. You know, so
That's that whole consideration thing.
right.
You know, to I understand you enough to consider who you are,
Right.
even though I may not agree.
But do you understand?
I understand.
Yes, Reggie, what is your question?
Chris,
Yes.
do you have to have constant feelings of being in love to have a successful relationship?
I'm going to say for me, no. I think one of the things, and we talk about this all the time, that I'm an introvert. So outside of this space, I'm quiet when I'm at home. I'm a totally different person. I think a lot of times people meet Christine and they want me to be on all the time. But I tell people, you know, I'm very quiet. I read a lot of books. I can spend days by myself. And I'm okay with that. I'm not a publicly affectionate person, but if that person is, I kind of follow their lead. So I wouldn't say I'm a submissive person, but I'm very open to someone being the lead in the relationship, especially when it comes to intimacy in our relationship, because I'm very inconsistent. I'm not the starter. And my personality really comes out being an introvert and being very quiet. So again, I think that's the confusion in my relationships, because when you're a public person and people see you, they're expecting that powerhouse to be in that relationship with them, and I'm not. So I think it kind of throws people off a little bit in that if we're together, I don't need to hold your hand to say we're together. I could just be standing next to you and I'm good. But the men that are attracted to me, they like all of that public affection, and I have to go, okay, brace yourself. This is happening. So I think for me, I'm okay with it. And I've learned, Dr. Missy said, I had to learn and understand who I was. In order for someone else to accept me and who I am, I had to learn myself and be okay with it. Because when you're in relationships and you're dating, a lot of times people take it like you're not into me. It's not that I'm not into you, but my God, we're sitting right here. How much closer can we get in this moment? But to some people, they can. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
And I want to say this. I think that one of the fallacies that women may have about men is that our feelings don't get hurt easily.
Yeah, because they do. I found that out.
Our feelings get hurt easily. And just a not holding my hand is a form of rejection to us.
And I found that
and,
out.
And when the world is beating the hell out of you every day, and you come home and your wife does a simple thing of rejection, it can last the whole night.
It can.
It can last.
That frustration.
Can I get an amen?
That. Exactly. And so I just want to say, what you guys hear is our studio audience right now doing it. But the thing is, I think for women like us, I had to learn that the person I'm with, sometimes just doing this made them happy. And by the way, Reggie's wife, I'm not really filling him up. He's just near me though. Okay. But I'm just saying, so like, this is what
she's not.
So I had to learn that. And I also had to learn that when a person grabs your hand, that it's okay. That's important to them. Right. And so for me, that's how I grew, because I just, and not that my parents were very loving and touching, but I was the opposite. I was a kid who grew up almost like an only child. And to me, if my parents hugged me, that to me didn't mean love. Being there and supporting me meant love. Like they were always at everything that I did. So to me, my understanding of love and respect is different than the person I may be with. But you got to embrace that. And that's one of the things that I learned.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in relationships that people need to really express that early.
Yeah.
This is when I feel loved.
Yeah.
This is what I like. This is when I more so than that. This is when I feel rejected.
Right. You can tell a person, if you don't hold my hand, that's a moment.
Because if we laying in the bed and you so far away that I can't touch you, I'm over there like, dang.
See, Everyone at home, that might be me. So I just want to say
I'm like, dang,
I
you know.
like my side of the bed.
You know, and I got cold feet. I need to warm my feet up on.
Oh my God, Reggie. I hate that your wife is going through that. I don't Missy, do you want somebody's cold feet on your body while you're trying to sleep? Are you about to say yes?
I don't like cold feet.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what? Our
That's
studio
love,
audience is doing shout
baby.
out. I just want to say
It is love, because my husband say, like, when he like could be in the bed, and then he'll like put his feet over. I was like, and I move him. Then he'll like move it over again. I said, what are you doing? He said, what are you doing? I said, your feet are cold.
I
See,
know,
I
and
can't
you're
do that.
warm.
I will tell you this, and you have a point, and I will say this. This is so true, that in that space, when I'm with the person who I feel really cares about me, I do have a thing where I have to sleep facing them, and I have to be cuddled like a baby.
Oh.
I
Okay.
do. Like, I sleep up under them so I can go to sleep. And if they let me go, I'm going to wake up. So I have to admit to you, although I don't want somebody's cold feet wrapped up on me, I do want to be under them. And that's just me.
You scared me for a second.
Right.
You said cuddled. I'm better with that. You said facing. I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and you.
No, I'm smart. So don't leave my head.
I'm like, all right.
Really?
I'm like, oh my God.
That is funny.
You know, this is not a moment I'm not
You're
going
like,
to do a disclaimer on Reggie. I will not do a disclaimer. You know what I mean? Like, I'm shorter, so I'm laying on their chest. Studio audience, I just want
I'm
to
telling
say,
you, if
I'm
somebody
laying on
wake
their
up in the middle of the night and see you
I'm
staring
not
at them, they be
looking at
like,
him, Reggie. My head is on their chest.
okay, I'm like, that
Nobody's
can answer a lot of
looking.
questions. You know what I mean?
Really? Oh my gosh, you're hilarious. Next question, Reggie. I cannot believe that
All right.
Nobody's staring at him like that.
Are we going with the next question?
Yeah, we're skipping you.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Mr. Wallace first.
All right.
Mr. Wallace, when you're in love, what type of feelings does that bring up in you?
Well, it brings the best out of you. I'm gonna say that. Knowing that someone loves you and care for you, it brings the best out of you.
I'm about to get a tissue.
And I think
Oh my God.
it should be the opposite also. You know, when you're in love, you're supposed to bring the best out your wife, you know, out your girlfriend, you know. And
Can you give me an example of a particular feeling, like joy, elation, peace, calm? You know what I mean?
well, looking forward to seeing someone after a long day, it's kind of bring joy. You know, bring joy.
I
You know,
I like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And Wallace, as long as I've known you, like that's beautiful. Like I almost got a tissue right there in that moment when he was like, I was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. And a lot of times, and I'll say this, as big as you are, a lot of women may not know that you're that sensitive in that sense, right? And as long as I've known you, I've never thought that. So I'm going to say I'm surprised.
well, it's because, like I said, being in love, because one of my else is friendship, you know, and coming home to your friend and being around your friend, you know, that should bring you joy, you know. It should bring out a good feeling, you know, in you, someone that you know that you could talk to. You're away from the world, you had a bad day or whatever, and now you're coming home, you know. And
Wow.
Yeah, I think that feeling right there, I think that's something that everyone should be looking for.
So I just want to say, ladies, this is a side commercial for Wallace. If you haven't picked up, he's giving you 3 of his top 5 Fs. So I hope you're taking notes because, again, he has mentioned that he's single. I just want to say that. He's giving you 3 of his top 5 Fs. So I think that's so interesting, the perspective he gives as a single. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Dr. Missy's going to say. I hope we don't have to do any wonderful disclaimers over here and put stars and stripes up over here.
What's the question? Yeah.
The question is, when you're in love, what kind of feelings arise in you?
Do I need my tissue before we get started? Are you about to say something? Okay.
I just know that my husband is my protector and my peace.
Oh my God, you about to make me don't see, girl.
Wow.
That was
I
beautiful.
know that.
Wait a
When
minute.
do you feel like name me one thing that he has done that you felt like he protected me in this situation?
Everything.
Everything.
I thought you said I was not going to need this tissue, girl. You trying to bring me down right now?
Everything. He's not gonna.
Oh my gosh.
He gonna. If I get upset or something, it's not happening. He doesn't want to see me upset. He wants to see me at peace. And he Carrie.
What's his name?
Lee.
Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Lee, it might be a good night for you, bro.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Lee, she'll be home from the show shortly.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's my protector and my
Put
peace.
on your red
I know,
jumper and slip on those high heels
All right, Lee. Wait a minute.
and some of that
Okay.
sweet perfume.
All right. By the way,
It's so-
Reggie can't sing, and we know that.
No, I'm not a singer, but I
Yes.
love it. I think if God gave me the ability to sing, I wouldn't
He
even
would
talk.
be on stage right now.
I wouldn't talk. I'd sing everything.
Everything. I agree.
Chris,
Yes.
you in love. What does it feel like? What are those feelings?
You know what I can honestly say, and this is so funny when she was talking, it's one thing that I've consistently said to anyone that I've ever dated, which by the way is probably a handful, it's to shock you, huh? It's safe place. I always say I just want a safe place.
Mhm.
And it's so hard because that means different things to different people. But to me, it's all inclusive of everything, who I am, what I'm about, the way I live, the way I breathe. I just need to know when I'm with you, I'm a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And that means so much to me. That means more to me than anything. And it seems like the most complicated thing to get. But honestly, that's just me.
I will say this. Better to be not in a relationship than being a bad one.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Being a bad one will take years off your joy. It would take, we're not gonna go there.
It will take years off your joy. And that's why I think it's so important. And people always constantly ask me, why did you create this card game? And why did you create this app? It was because of these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to my friends over the years and they were saying they were having such a hard time. They dated someone for 6 months and they say, we're not compatible. And I go, well, did anybody talk during the 6 months? Like what happened during these 6 months? And what I found is that people are enamored with the other person. You're enamored with them because of the way they look or the way they smell or the way they make you feel sexually. You're enamored. But once that glow wears off, because one of my friends said to me one day, he's like, she doesn't clean. Like she's never clean. I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, the dishes are piling up at her place. And I said, but it's 6 months later. You just seen the dishes piling up. He was like, yeah. You know why? He was so enamored with her because he was coming over at a certain time of day. You get what I'm saying? So the dish thing, the house thing wasn't the big picture for him. But it wasn't until he was there in the light of day that he realized, okay, maybe she's not the Marion type, right? Because that was one of his things. So I totally 100% agree with you. It's better to be single, and that's not me. I very much don't want to be single, but the opportunity has not presented itself. Okay. But the thing is that I really feel good in this space that if I did continue to be single, I really like thinking I'm pretty awesome rock star like me, right? But I would like to wake up and somebody else goes, you're kind of cute. I'll be like, that's what I'm saying, right? You're kind of hot too. So there you go.
Let them wake up first because you can't wake up first and be staring at people.
Really? Are we going back to that, Reggie? Me laying on their chest. I'm sorry. I need to be coddled.
Just
Oh my
saying.
God. This is what happens when you tell somebody something intimately about yourself.
A little bit weird factor right
Well,
there.
listen, guys, I just want to say right now we do have to take a commercial break. And we have to thank our sponsors for all the support that they have shown us. So you're going to see a couple of commercials from our sponsors. And one of them is a previous guest. So I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be right back for the 5 F's to Love.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Si es para ti
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5 F's to Love 5 F's to Love podcast. So I wanted to say, in our first segment, we really had an opportunity to do a deep dive on some of the questions or concerns that you may have in your relationship. And I want to see the perspective, two married people and two single people on the panel, but we all had something that was very clearly aligned. What makes things work in a relationship is transparency, communication. And that's one of the major reasons why we created this platform. We wanted to provide you with an opportunity where you could talk to us virtually, put things in comments, so that we can help guide and support you in the transitions you have in your relationship. Dr. Missy went through something that was very tragic, but it was in that moment where she said to herself, that's my husband, and I love him. And calling him husband meant something to her. So I'm going to say to you, ladies, I don't want something tragic to happen in your life for you to understand how important your mate is. I want you to live each moment and understand each moment and embrace it through the obstacles, through the ups and downs. And I hate to do a total segue to a couple who I admire, and they're some of my best friends. And that's the owners of Shops on Top, where we're filming today. Darren and Tina Washington are such an amazing couple. They've been in business together, running a business for over 32 years, and they've been married for 29 years. And they're celebrating their anniversary next Saturday. But I want to say to you, they're the epitome to me of an amazing couple that through the ups and downs, they stand together. And whenever you get a chance to meet Darren and Tina, they're going to come on the show. But Darren actually did give me a moment where I cried. Darren does these weekly things where he does once a month with women. He supports women entrepreneurs, and he holds these speaking sessions, and they come out and speak. And Darren got up at the end and he talked about his wife. And when I say to you, there was not a dry eye in the place. Tina was not in the room, and there wasn't a camera on. He was just standing there talking to women about his wife and the impact that she made on him. And one of the things that I took away from that, he said, when I lost everything, she never left my side. That's the no matter what. And that's what I tell people all the time. A lot of times people will bail when a person loses everything. But she didn't. She stood by his side. And, that's the thing, that when you think about love, I could see the love in his eyes for his wife, that this is an unbreakable bond. And it was so funny because during that moment, she wasn't in the room. And I had to immediately go run and tell her. And she goes, he didn't say that about me. Did he say that about me? I was like, oh my God, everybody was crying. You missed it, right? So that's just a beautiful moment I wanted to share with you guys. What are you trying to say, Reggie?
It's going to be a good night for Darren.
What about me? I'm not, okay, I don't have anybody to go home to. We won't get into that. Okay, so Reggie's going to give you his last question of today, and then we're going to move over to the 5 F's to Love card game with commercial breaks. Oh, by the way, anything that Reggie says and does, 5 F's brand will not be held responsible for that.
Well, that's so funny.
My attorney makes me say that for Reggie.
Well,
That's
here's
funny.
here's the deal.
Yes.
Dr. Missy.
Why are you coming to me first?
When was the last time?
Go to him.
Okay. Mr. Wallace.
Okay.
When do you know you are in love? What is that moment?
Wow. Well, I haven't experienced that moment yet. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't know.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to experience that moment.
Okay.
So, wow.
Have you gotten to almost love, like a strong like? Ladies, I think you should listen. Have you gotten to a strong like almost feeling them?
Maybe. I'm gonna say maybe.
It's about 5 people at home. Like, what?
Is he talking about me?
I mean,
we did. Exactly. We did, and he over there talking about we don't even know if he was in love with me. Okay, so let's talk about that.
No, that's okay because you should not play around with that word. That's a serious word.
It is.
And I think
Absolutely.
that I think that if you don't mean it, don't say it.
Absolutely.
So I'm a strong believer in that.
Okay.
So I think
that's great, and I admire that about you, because a lot of times men say that to women, and they don't mean it. And women, when they hear that word, honey, you can get everything in the kitchen sink from them.
I think women say it and don't mean it.
Well, I totally agree with you.
I think a lot of times women.
But do you think men say it more times than women just to get what they want?
I think they both do it. I think
Really?
men say they love you to get some booty, and I think women
That's
say they
true.
love you to get a man.
I agree with that part.
They say it to get a man, and they think that, oh, I love you because I don't feel like I'm supposed to be in this space with you, sharing the relationship that we're sharing without being in love with you. But you really don't love me because you don't even know half of me yet. I think a lot of women say it way too early, and that's when men are like,
I think it's an age thing on that.
Yeah, I do. I think maybe younger women say it quickly.
I do too.
I'm not saying it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it. I mean, but what about you? What about you, Dr. Missy?
Like, when did you know
hmm
that you was
That Lee was the thing that made your heart burn like fire.
In the beginning, because he kept chasing me.
Wow.
you had
Women
that,
love to be chased.
you had
We
that
do love
water,
that.
you had that water, baby. He was a little thirsty.
Women love to be
Yeah,
chased.
he was chasing me and chasing me and chasing me, and I said, "Wow, this is deep."
It's that feeling of being pursued, that
Yeah.
somebody desired you.
Yeah, that's like really hot.
That's a strong feeling.
Yes.
It
And
is.
I want to say this. That's a strong feeling for both people
Mhm.
to want to have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So ladies, let your man feel like he's desirable from time to time. Don't always be the one
Yeah.
that he has to, come on, baby, what you gonna do
Are you
tonight?
talking about me?
No.
You know that's me. I'm a follower. What is that about? Doesn't mean I'm not in. Dude, I need somebody else to kind of make the magic
every now and
happen.
again, Wallace been in the gym, 8 days this week, and he want somebody to recognize that he got some.
But that's true.
He's-
And I'm sure Wallace potential mate may do that.
That's right.
But I'm just simply saying, in my own space, I'm not much of the leader like that. But I do leave sticky notes. I do leave sticky notes in the mirror about my commitment to them.
Sticky notes are good. Sticky notes are good. But
That's good.
however, it's nothing about not being that you can't be.
I agree.
So whatever you weren't when you started this relationship, you have to understand that this relationship requires me to be more and not to
But I think
not be.
I agree with you. I think the right person will bring that out of me. And I
Sure.
think it won't be a
That-
question about it. I just think
That's
the
true.
right person.
That could be
And
true.
so, like, you haven't posed a question to me, but I think that's when I'll know I'm in love. When it's seamless. When that process is seamless for me, and that I'm doing things, and I often laugh, and I was telling my brother the other day, we were laughing at one another. I said, I will learn to cook for that man,
Oh.
right? So because, and by the way, I don't cook very well, so that was the joke. Is that I don't cook very well. I'm not a cooker, but I said for that man I would, and that's when you know, right? That's when you know that it's seamless, and I would do that for that person. But to
I got a
Wallace's point,
question
I've
for
never-
you.
Yes.
You're talking about the 5 P's of love.
Mhm.
Do you have any guards up?
I think for me, and you know what? That's a good question you posed to me. Wow. Maybe she should be the co-host. Okay, so yes, you're right. I do. No, I do. So I will say that I think over the years, being a single mom, raising my son by myself, I became more I don't want to say masculine, but more secure and playing a role of this is what's happening. And so for someone to chisel away at that, the right guy, that whole brick wall will fall to the ground. But if I don't really feel safe and I have that safe thing, that wall, honey, you'll be chiseling for years to try to get through that wall. But for the right guy, he could just touch it with a finger and the brick wall will fall down. So you're right. I mean, to that point, that's what happens.
See, the problem with that is if the wall is already there,
It's there.
he may not. I mean, you're not going to meet a guy today and the wall's going to come down. So the problem with that is if I go up and I see a wall up,
Yeah.
I'm thinking she don't want me in her space.
Reggie, I agree.
You agree?
You agree?
I understand that.
Okay.
Okay, that's I love that she's like, I agree. So you know what? And I will agree with you on that, but I do want you to understand this. A lot of that wall is there to protect Chris, not Christine. Christine's a powerhouse. Like she will rock it, right? But Chris is very sensitive and she can't manage a lot of conflict. So that's the whole thing. We talked about that before. And Wallace and I have talked about it, like who are you really meeting, right? When people meet me, they're meeting Christine. Very few people have an opportunity to meet Chris because Chris is quiet. And I'm afraid that if I share that with people, they could trample me. And so that's the thing I think a lot of people need to be. It's not that the brick wall is up because I don't want you to get near me. It's just I'm trying to really protect who I am. Okay. So again, for the right guy.
But let me say that. I was like that.
You were like that.
Yes.
And then Lee put his finger on that brick wall. And
I got amnesia.
Okay. By the way, I'm not saying get amnesia. This is not what we're promoting here.
A little bit of amnesia can go a long way in a successful marriage.
By the way, disclaimer, you know what it is. I don't have to repeat it. It's just for my attorneys because Reggie is saying get amnesia. Okay, so I'm going to tell you honestly, I think you're right. It's not going to take a moment like that for me. But again, I'm 50 now. I just turned 50 this year, and I think I'm more open than I was before.
Good.
Before, I think because I was a single mom, I wasn't only protecting myself, I was protecting him. And I didn't want to expose my son to different things. And I think now that he's in college, that's changed for me.
That's good.
That it's not, the wall is not so thick. It's probably paper thin right now. I'm not going to lie to you. It's probably paper thin. He's probably kicking in right now. But I'm just saying, but you're right. And now, you know, I really like the fact that as another woman, you saw that in me and you brought that up. So I think that's like rock star amazing.
It is.
Okay, Reggie, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Did you turn the table? Should we be playing theme music?
We're guessing. We're guessing.
We're guessing the host. Okay, so listen, this is the Missy and Wallace show. We're now here, guests. And welcome to segment number 3. Okay, so go ahead. What's your question?
Reggie. When did you know that you was in love?
Oh.
And how did you approach your wife to ask your wife, would she marry you?
Please tell about your drive and how you dated her and everything. Tell her, because you know I love this story. Okay, go ahead. Tell that story.
Which one?
Tell us how you drove. Oh, you kept driving up there.
Okay.
The celibacy thing. People need to know about you. Okay, go.
Hey, no.
They do. Tell us.
No. So my wife and I, we met. She was living in D.C. and I was living in Delaware, and I was hanging out with my cousin one night, and we went out to a club, and I didn't really want to go to the club. And I saw this young lady looking at me, and I was like, wow, she's kind of cute. But she was sitting in a sofa with a table here, and I was over there, and I was like, and there was other girls around that I did not want to talk to. And, you know, the thirstiest girl would be like, hey, you want to dance with me? I'm like, no, I want to dance with her, but I don't want to be rude. But she found her way out. We danced. We love to dance. And later on that night, my cousin's like, you asked for a number? I was like, for what? She lives in D.C. I live in Delaware. I'm not coming down here every day. So as soon as I said that, she's coming out of the parking garage, and I see her. And I said, hey, do you mind if I have your number? She said, I had it all ready for you, baby.
Wow.
I'm just joking. She didn't.
Wow.
No, but so
I like the flow.
You should have left it there, Reggie.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
we dated long distance, and I was like, wow, you know, I have more in common with this young lady that I'm really not pursuing than I have with any other body that I've dated.
Okay, now tell them the good part, because you know I like the good part.
And then I said, hey, listen, if we're going to do this, can we not have anybody else around? And she's like, what do you mean? I says, like I don't want to compete with the guy that live around the corner or you to compete with the chick that live around the corner. You know, like, can we give us a chance? And I realized that's when our exclusivity happened. Wasn't in love. I realized that I was in love with her when it was two things, and it was dualistic. one, I felt completely and utterly accepted by her. I felt like she accepted everything about me. And two, I looked past her flaws. When I could see past her flaws, because I'm going to tell you something. Not that my wife has ugly feet. She has very beautiful feet. I have not dated a girl because I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to date those Velociraptor feet. But I couldn't see past her flaws. With my wife, I could see past her flaws. And when I asked her to be
Before you asked her, get to the good part. Reggie drove up and down the road from Delaware to DC for months, years.
About well over a year.
Drove up and down and dated her. And then he said to her, you know what? We got to make a decision if we're going to be together. I'm telling this story because I think it's so amazing. He's throwing in the little extra edits. I'm just going to tell you what happened. So his wife was doing a residency. And by the way, Reggie's wife is a doctor.
No, this is when she was in med school.
Oh, this is when she was in med school. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, Reggie supported her 100%. When you're in med school and you're going through what you need to do to reach your residency, it's a lot. It's a lot. Reggie made sure that everything was laid out for her. He supported her work hours. He made her breakfast even before he went to work. Like he 100% was in. He played the role of the husband before he became the husband. And that's the part I wanted him to tell, because he had already committed in his mind that this is my wife. And he was in. Not that whole thing about the feet. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fact that he knew in that moment, I'm done with everybody else. I'm done driving. I'm coming to be with you. And whatever it takes in this moment to support you, I am. Mm-hmm. That's what I loved about his story.
Yeah.
Right? Because that was the magic. Okay, so now you can go back and finish it. Okay, I'm done.
I don't know if there's anything left.
That was it. That's the finishing.
No. When I asked her to, when I realized that I wanted to, when I started dating, before I even met her, I realized I didn't want to date casual anymore. And when we met and we had such a great chemistry together, and she liked to do simple things. Like one of our favorite times together is playing Scrabble. We love playing Scrabble together. And she's a terrible loser. But she has to learn because I'm better at her. But she brags when she wins. I'm like, really? I got you. I'm like,
does she do a dance?
If she does sometimes, right. But it's more like in the bed because we're playing Scrabble in the bedroom. She's like, what's up, Dillard? So anyway,
I don't even want to get into how you play Scrabble in the bed
on the iPad.
Oh, okay, because I was like imagining something totally. I was with the board game and all the letters are out.
Yeah, we did that in the 90s.
Okay, I'm just trying to say.
You're IT
I know, but I'm an IT professional, but I was with the board game. Okay,
that's funny.
And you said the bed. I was wondering what's happening.
Well,
Okay, we're not gonna put your business in the street, but I was wondering.
When we dated, and I was like, we have a really good chance of having something special here. And I come from a family where there's a lot of marriages. And for everybody in my family that wore that name, Mrs. Dillard, from my grandmom to my aunts and cousins, that was an honor that we looked at. And I didn't want to bring anybody into the fold to call them the next Mrs. Dillard and she not be worthy. And she's absolutely worthy.
She's 100% worthy.
Absolutely worthy.
His wife is a rock star OBGYN. I'm just going to throw it out there.
OBGYN, Greensboro, North Carolina, Central Carolina, OBGYN, Central Carolina, OBGYN, Dr. Naima Dillard. That's not shameless at all.
And she's absolutely gorgeous. His wife and his daughter is just as gorgeous. And he has a wonderful family. And
she, my daughter is beautiful because she looks like my wife.
She looks like a split between them.
No, she got some sprinkles of me in there to keep it honest.
But she
looks like her.
Yeah.
But we have a wonderful family.
We do.
And I'm very thankful. And he said something. Wallace said something early about giving space.
Right.
And I was like, yeah. When I was getting on the plane, I was like, oh my God, I get to get away for a couple of days, and I'm not here no more than a half a day. I'm like, oh, I miss her so much.
He's totally missing her.
Oh, beautiful.
He was just like, Chris. I was like, yes. And he was just like thinking of things that he could do to let his wife know he missed her.
That's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
And that was beautiful. Like he sent her this wonderful text, and I was just like, that's so adorable. I love it.
Beautiful.
But he missed her. And I want to say Reggie is like the alpha male, like ultimate. So for him to break down and call me on the phone like, Chris, I missed her. I was like, am I taking you back to the airport? What is happening? Are you staying here for the podcast? But he stayed. So I just want to say that meant a lot to see him as a father and as a husband embrace that. And I always say it's really great for me to see great examples
Mhm.
of that type of love. And he relentlessly talks about his wife in a way that I would want my husband to talk about me.
Wow.
Like how much he loves her and he appreciates her. And he was like, it's not the big things, it's the little things.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I love that. So I applaud you. So listen, guys, I know you're getting teary-eyed over there. We're going to do a real quick session of the 5 F's to Love card game. And we're going to play it virtually. But before we do that, we're going to go to sponsors. And I think one of the sponsors is me, the 5 F's to Love podcast.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
And he lives in North Carolina now.
North Carolina, yes.
And I live here, and we do it via Zoom. And now we're looking at doing it virtually once a month, a live podcast. So I wanted to say to you guys, for those who don't know it, it's really awesome to have somebody who believes in your concept and your idea so much that they come and join you. And I really appreciate his family and all the support they have shown him in this partnership with me to do this podcast. It's been an awesome experience. And it's so funny because the way Reggie and I met, I'm going to tell you the story real quick before we go to the card game. I was dating a person that he knew. Stop. We won't bring up any names. And it was so funny because Reggie and I clicked as friends. And for the longest time, people actually thought we were brother and sister because I was like a smaller version of him. And we used to laugh and talk all the time. And that's how we became friends, was through this person that I was dating, which I got rid of very quickly. We won't talk about that on the show. But it was funny because our friendship still continued, you know, even after that relationship.
Yeah.
So I think the purpose of the relationship for me was to meet him because it was great being in a state where I had no family. It felt like I had family, you know, and Reggie and his friends just kind of took me in, and they were always very supportive of me. And I definitely appreciate it. So I don't know if I've ever told you that. I totally appreciate it. You looking out for me because little Christine, I was trying to be tough, you know, but it was nice to know that I had people who looked out for me. And if you don't know this, Reggie is in a fraternity. So when you're with one of them, it's like they all look out for you. And the Qs to this day, I love the Qs. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about them. I necessarily don't, but you know how I feel about you guys. They looked out for me. I don't know what to tell you. They did a great job, and they always protected me. So I admire that about you and about the fraternity itself. Okay, so now we're going to go to a quick commercial, and we're going to play the 5 F's to Love card game.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
Just watch for it.
I want to make sure you guys can see the screen.
I welcome you to My Shy Life. I'm Shia Perkins, brand creator, author, and lifestyle coach. My mission is to share solutions on how to successfully exist across all relationships, romantic, social, platonic, and professional. I offer lifestyle and dating coaching services, provide personal development skills that will inspire and empower. Pick up a copy of my book, How to Date a Dime, a dating guide for men who want to date their own perfect 10. You will find that my book brings a fresh approach to the art of relationship building, armed with intuitive wit, proven lifestyle tools, and the ability to guide individuals into a reality of what it takes to find a perfect mate confidently and effectively. Visit my website, myshylife.com, and order your copy today.
I just want
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será?
Peace.
Okay, welcome back to the 5F's to Love podcast. So now here's our round of the card game. The card game was actually created to support people who are going through relationship obstacles, or if it's someone you want to get to know, or you can play it in a group of friends. And the whole purpose is to be able to ask questions that you normally don't ask people. It's like Wallace said, those deep dive questions. So here we go, our first round of 5F's to Love card game. Okay, so our first question to our guest, and I'm going to start with you, Missy, is what percentage of your budget is allocated to food and drinks and entertainment a month, and does your spouse know?
25%, and he's aware.
25% and he's aware?
Yes.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so Wallace, what percentage of your budget?
I'm going to have to say about 30%.
30%? Okay. Reggie? What percentage of your budget?
It's probably on the lower end, probably around 15%.
Probably around 15%?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that. So, like, I don't have a budget for that. I'm waiting for me to meet someone for them to give me a budget. I'm only kidding. No, actually, my budget is probably about 20%, 10 to 20%, because a lot of things that I like to do doesn't really cost a lot of money. I read a lot of books. I entertain myself pretty much at this point. Okay. All right, so our next question is, how much do you budget monthly on your body maintenance and upkeep? So A is $50 to $100, B, $200 to $400, C, $500 to $700, or D, $800 or more. So Wallace, I'm going to ask you this question first. What do you budget for monthly maintenance for your body?
Wow. I'm going to say a B. Because I'm into fitness and trying to eat right, and eating healthy is expensive. So,
as a single person, $200 to $400 a month?
Yes, because I'm trying something new. I'm trying pre-packed meal. I don't want to say the name of it.
Yes.
So that comes twice a month. I'm looking at my supplements that I take.
Okay.
So I have to be B.
Okay. So Dr. Missy?
I agree with Wallace. I don't do all the supplements, pre-packed and stuff, but it's definitely B.
It's definitely B.
Yes.
Okay. Reggie?
I'm probably somewhere between A and B. Not necessarily 200, like $100, $150 a month. Gym membership and just toiletries. I don't really do a whole lot of.
That counts as maintenance?
Yeah.
I guess so for a guy.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm pretty simple as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
I cut my own hair, so I don't really have that budget.
Okay. Well, my answer is C, $500 to $700.
Good.
And the reason being is that I go and I get full body massages. I have a very stressful job. Running an IT consulting firm can sometimes be a 24-hour job. So I spend money on that. I count my therapist in that. I count Wallace in that. I have a list of supplements that I take. So I count all that. And so it's probably $500 to $700. But I'm going to be honest with you, at 50, I've never felt better. I think my body feels better. I eat cleaner, and so that it costs money to do that. So yeah, it's not just a gym, it's other things that do maintenance. My hair is not an issue, but I spend money on other things. So yeah. All right, so that's kind of interesting. We're all I like that. Okay, so our next question is from cooking. And by the way, you all know I don't cook, so you probably wonder, how did I come up with all these cooking questions? It's because I can't cook that I came up with them. So the question is, you are preparing a 3-course romantic dinner for your partner or person you're dating. How would you decorate the room, the table, and what would be your main course dessert? Your main course and your dessert. So I'm going to start with you, Dr. Missy. If you were making something for Lee, I mean, what is that looking like over there?
I got to hire somebody.
You would hire someone to do it?
Yes.
Okay. I love it. All right. So you would hire them. So what would be on the menu? Like, do you know his favorite meal?
Yes, I'll probably hire his mama.
Really? To cook the meal?
because she don't mind.
Oh, I love that.
And she will probably cook him roast beef, some spinach pie, something.
Wow.
And whatever she do is okay with me.
Okay.
I always get the cheesecake.
You would get the cheesecake.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No, I won't get the cheesecake. I'll ask for a baked cake because he loves her cooking because she bakes.
Oh wow.
So I'll just get everything from her.
Okay. All right, I think that's magical. Okay, so but would you like candles? But is all of that happening?
No.
That's not happening?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So Wallace, we're gonna go to you. I'm hoping that the single person can pull us into something. It says romantic. Dr. Missy was like, nope, he's gonna get this meal and we're gonna dim
From
that
his
light.
mama.
From his mama.
And she gonna make it for both of us.
Right. So that's the romance in that. That she's not cooking. Okay, so Wallace, what are you thinking?
Well, to be honest, sometimes I like cooking and sometimes I don't.
Mhm.
But it's very important to find out what she like.
Okay.
Because if I discover what kind of meal that she like, I could probably cook it. If not, then I'll order it. I go ahead and play it off. But it's important to know what she like, instead of just cooking anything.
I like that. So ladies, if you're listening, obviously he will cater to your needs. I hope you guys are taking notes. Reggie, what has your wife experienced with you? Have you done like the romantic with the candles and all of that? Are you ordering like Dr. Missy over there?
No, I love to cook, and I'm a really good cook.
By the way, that was a loaded question because I know he cooks. But go
I
ahead.
don't. I have done the candle lights before, but not very often. Maybe a few times.
But does your wife like it? Does she like the candles and the romance?
She's never mentioned. She likes romance,
Okay.
but she never mentioned that candles was one of her things. She's
Right.
more of a candles in the bedroom type of person than
All
I would
right
think.
now. All right.
But it would be like she just changed her diet up. She's given up beef, pork, and chicken. So I would probably make like a salmon with some sauteed spinach,
That's
some
nice.
That
zucchini and
sounds
squash.
good.
It does. Dr. Missy's over there thinking about that meal right
And,
now.
But not to cook though.
Not to cook, but to show up.
Yeah.
Right, and I make this a little cheesecake, so probably a piece of cheesecake. But if I didn't make the dessert,
Right.
her favorite is tiramisu. I
love that.
would go get some tiramisu, and we're trying to cut back on sugar now, so I wouldn't make any iced tea
Okay.
because but probably would have a glass of wine.
I like that. To be honest with you, I love candles. I like the lights being off and this candle lit, and I like the romance and soft music. Like if you got my playlist, I like that kind of stuff. You could be serving anything because I'm not a foodie. As long as there's food there to eat, I'm good, and I love a good bottle of wine. So there you go, guys. I just gave you a tip, so you might want to keep that in mind. But that's the big thing, though, for me. I like candles.
If you were preparing for your
I'm
new
like
beau,
Dr. Missy. I'm about to, I don't cook, so I'm getting ready to order. But the thing is, I would set the table up really amazing. Like I'm a table setter, and then I'm going to find out what you really love, and I'm going to go find a company that's going to make it really rock star for me. But I'm honest about that too, though, that I don't cook.
One thing that I would suggest is, because men are very different about that whole cooking for them thing.
Yes.
If he wants you to cook for him,
Right.
you're going to need to cook for him, even if it's bad. You know what I mean? Because it's not about the meal at that point in time. It's about the effort.
Yeah, we've had my effort, and I think once they smell my effort, they'll let that go.
Grilled cheese, baby. Everybody can do grilled cheese.
We can't do grilled cheese. I just want to be honest. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So our next cooking question is, what type of burger do you order with toppings? And the bonus is, what beverage would you pair with that burger? So, Wallace?
Oh, that's easy. A Corona.
A Corona, but what type of burger?
Double cheeseburger with bacon.
Oh my gosh, aren't you the trainer guy? What is happening over there?
Yeah, but sometimes you got to cheat a little bit.
No, that's right.
Okay, I love it. All right, so Dr. Missy?
Is that for me or for Lee?
No, that's for you.
I really don't like hamburgers or cheeseburgers.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
What type of sandwich do you normally order when you go out?
Chicken.
Chicken? Okay, so you get a chicken burger. And then what
With
kind of
bones.
with bones. Okay, so you would just order a chicken sandwich
Chicken with bones.
with bones. Okay, and what beverage do you normally pair with that?
Iced tea.
Iced tea.
I know that's
All right, Reggie, what about you?
Oh, I just gave up beef, but oh my God, I love a good beef burger, but I'm not eating that anymore. So I got to learn how to enjoy a turkey burger.
Okay.
I would probably have either some sharp cheddar or Swiss on it, some mushrooms, grilled onions, lettuce and tomatoes.
All of that. Can we just get the beverage, Reggie? Really?
Yeah, I mean, you said
Right
the
now, I'm
toppings
hungry.
on it.
You know I'm hungry right
I'm
now. Are you
starving.
kidding me?
I'm hungry too.
Little bit of spicy mustard with some ketchup and mayonnaise on the bread. Psh, what? Pickles.
Why?
And then iced tea.
Iced tea.
Iced tea with lemon, with a splash of lemonade or some squeezed lemon in that. You can't ever go wrong with iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is I will go to our next question, and we're going to make this our last question.
Okay.
Okay, so our question here is under workout and health, is when someone catches your eye, what features are you most drawn to when you're considering someone as your potential partner? So, Dr. Missy, I'm going to ask you first, what caught your attention about Lee when you first saw him?
It's been so long ago. I would probably say his smile. He has a beautiful smile.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Okay, what about you, Wallace?
Oh, can I say it?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
you can say
You're not
it.
gonna get in trouble, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'm only the one who has disclaimers.
Yeah, just him.
Oh, okay. Well, I like a nice body.
Okay.
I like a nice body. I'm into fitness, so I try to take care of my body. So I'm looking for someone to compliment me, and plus I'm a booty person.
Yeah, you can say that. So,
Okay.
ladies, that's another commercial for you. All of you who did not understand, you have 3 of his top Fs. You know he will make a beautiful dinner for you, and
That's
he likes
4.
booty.
That's 4.
That's 4.
Fat butt, baby.
Really? Okay, anything that Reggie says or does, the 5 Fs to brand cannot be held liable for that. Okay, so listen, real quickly. I want your answer, and I need you to stay nice. This is a PG-13.
I'm a butt man.
Okay, thank God that's all he said. Outstanding. Well, guys, what I want to do is I want to make sure that you guys have an amazing tour of the space that we're in. So I want to take you on a tour of Shops on Top. But before we go there, I want to take you for a quick commercial, and we're going to take a virtual tour of Shops on Top and meet the owners here.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
How often do you commercial? Take it.
You just don't want to move.
No, you don't have to move. I'm just going to take a camera and do the virtual tour.
No.
Oh, I need my phone.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
My
I'm gonna
outfit to go.
have to up.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Y por todo yo brindo, desde lo feo hasta lo lindo. Tú eres una prueba que el mundo a mí nunca me brindó. Quería casarme, yo tan loco.
You know, when you have
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Y por todo yo brindo, desde lo feo hasta lo lindo. Tú eres una prueba que el mundo a mí nunca me brindó. Quería casarme, yo tan loco.
and
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Y por todo yo brindo, desde lo feo hasta lo lindo. Tú eres una prueba que el mundo a mí nunca me brindó. Quería casarme, yo tan loco.
had 3 meals a week.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer. ¿Qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? Y por todo yo brindo, desde lo feo hasta lo lindo. Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
You're live.
Okay, guys, we're taking you on a tour of Shops on Top. This is Darren Washington, and this is his amazing space. So let's take a tour with Mr. Washington.
Hello, everyone. Darren Washington from Shops on Top. Hey, I want to let everyone know we are here in the Eastern Market in downtown Detroit. We are located on 2362 Russell Street here in Detroit. And I tell you, we have some fabulous merchandise and a fabulous showcase to show you. Okay, so what I want to do, maybe I'll start here in my event space. Can I do that? Maybe. Okay, we'll come back. Let's do this. Let's start right here. Okay, this is my Why Not Detroit brand. Why Not Detroit? We say live, work, play, shop, and serve in the D. I created this fine merchandise. If you come close, you see I say Why Not Detroit. I have hoodies, t-shirts, caps, shirts, you name it, ball caps, hoodies. I do a great job, and it's doing wonderful. So anybody who's wants to come to Detroit, hey, come here at Shops on Top and get a Why Not Detroit t-shirt first. Okay. So come on, I got some fabulous things here. Now here, I also created our own Red Velvet coffee shop. And you can come up here and have a nice coffee, tea, hot chocolate, apple cider, the whole shop. So, by the way, good. By the way, too, Shops on Top, we have a big event coming up. We're celebrating 32 years in the fashion industry. 32 years in the fashion industry. And next week, October the 9th, we have a big fashion show. We have live jazz, which I love. I'm a jazz lover, so we have live jazz, fashion show, and we're going to have a DJ spinning some nice music. So that's next week, October the 9th. So let me take you around, show you what else happening. And here, and by the way, I love kids. This is one of my favorite toys that I created, from scratch. It's called Be Positive. It's a positive toy, and the toy actually talks to the kids about saying positive quotes like "Never give up, stay focused, give your best, be sincere," and it also sings and talks to the kids. I don't know if you can hear it a little bit, but you can hear it.
You can be a positive star.
So you can go to Be Positive at bepositivestore.com and check us out, okay? So anyway, come on down. I have about a total of 9,000 square feet of space on this floor. I have one of the largest sock walls in our city. You know, we have socks from dress socks, casual socks, fun socks, you name it. We have it all right here at Shops on Top. We're located at 2362 Russell Street in Detroit. So don't forget, please. Now look here. This is one of my favorite stores. High Street Shop and Menswear. Men, women, you gotta check this store out. This is a cool haberdashery. Come on in, check it out. You'll see some of the finest ties, some of the finest sport coats, some of the finest suits in this store. If you notice, not just only off the rack, but we also do custom. So men, if you like your stuff custom fit perfect, come check me out. My name is Darren Washington, located here at 2362 Russell Street at Shops on Top. And inside Shops on Top, you'll find High Street Tie Shop and Menswear, okay? So let me keep going. Take you around this way. How you like my classic stereo system? I love classic. But anyway, now I'm gonna take you through the space. And now you're entering model dress accessories. So we give you this is the ladies department, okay? So here you'll find some really nice fine accessories for ladies. Got hats, scarves, nice pashminas for ladies. So take a look around. You can pan the store real closely. I got some really nice hats, handbags, just beautiful handbags for ladies, and affordable too at the same time. So gotta check us out. So got nice array of accessories. So listen, it's gonna be the noise a little bit loud, but anyway, this is model dress. This is the ladies department. We have about 2,500 square feet of just beautiful clothing for ladies. I mean, you're talking about some beautiful dresses. You're talking about nice handbags, great socks, but just excuse a little noise. There's a party going on downstairs. But anyway, just want to show you some nice gear here. If you look around, by the way, too, we have a nice brand that we call Model Lips. Really nice lipstick for ladies, made right here in the USA. So ladies, come check us out. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Okay. We have an array of sunglasses, and check the accessories out behind our cash wrap here. We do beautiful accessories for ladies. Okay, come with me. So here we do a bath and body, model dress, bath and body. We have shea butter soaps. We have shea butter, body butter lotions for men and women, actually. So, and also we have great loofahs, nice loofahs to scrub with. You gotta come check us out. Also, we have some bath bombs. You know, all different flavors of bath bombs as well. So you won't be disappointed if you come here and check us out. You know, this is a great store. We call us the Detroit shopping destination here in Detroit. So men, this is one of my favorite spots. I call this the model eye candy for men. So you can come in here and get all kind of nice intimate apparel for your lady, and ladies, you can have a great time for sure. You know, and it's very comfortable merchandise as well. So take a look around, please. And also we do a nice array of evening wear, beautiful evening wear for ladies too. So here at Shops on Top and Model Dress, we try to cover from dress for total nice dressing, all the way to high fashion, all the way to casual. Okay, so come on back out this way. So here. So again, 2362 Russell Street in Detroit. And by the way, too, you can go to whynotdetroit.com and purchase, if you'd like to purchase that Why Not Detroit brand, and also shopsontopdetroit.com if you'd like to purchase online. Okay. Listen, we appreciate it. I know we got to wrap this up, but I thank you so kindly for checking in and giving me the opportunity to spend a little time with you. Thanks so much. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, guys, back to the show and our final commercial before we end our podcast this evening. As I walk through the shop, I just want to give you a close-in view of how we record our podcast here. And thank you to all our viewers for joining us.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
Welcome back to the 5F's to Love podcast. Our live podcast has been a lot of fun for me. What about you, Reggie?
Had a great time.
I didn't have to do too many disclaimers. Like, you really didn't do anything this time for me to do the disclaimer. I'm proud of you.
We still got some time.
Okay, well, let's not. Because I just want to say you are really racking up my legal fees. I want to thank our guest, Dr. Missy Johnson. It's always great to see you. I just want to say I applaud you and commend you for what you've been able to do from since we first met. And I just say, as another woman looking at your greatness and your beauty wrapped in everything you've experienced in life, and I'm not going to give away her book nor her movie, but I'm going to tell you she has really gone through some major obstacles in life. And she's come out on the other end like Wonder Woman. So I just want to applaud you and say thank you for being a part of this podcast and sharing your love story. I think that's a lot of times people don't understand what you've gone through and how your spouse just held you down throughout this time. And we also want to thank his mother. Lee, thank your mother for us because she cooks and she's open. She's wonderful. Obviously, Dr. Missy loves her. So we want to thank Lee's mom as well. And I want to thank Wallace. Wallace, you already know I think you're an amazing friend. You've been one of my really good friends for years. You've always been very supportive. But I want to thank you and encourage people to understand, to make this transition in life, to live in a healthy life. He's definitely proof of it. I won't tell his age, but I'm going to tell you, whatever number you guess, you're probably going to be wrong. He's a lot older than what you think, but he looks amazing. That's because he's an excellent example. When you eat well and you take care of yourself, what happens? So he was my motivation at 50 to really make that transition. I'm going to tell you, one of the things he shared with me was, if you do what I ask you to do, I'm not telling you to do this, I'm asking you to do this because you're doing this for yourself, you'll see a change. And he gave me a date. And so to me, that meant a lot. And that says what kind of person you are individually, you know, how you're committed to your life and your body and your health and wellness. And I want to say, any woman that gets your attention, that woman that you know that you've fallen in love with, she's going to get an awesome guy. Yeah. She's really going to get, right, Dr. Missy? Because he said some stuff. We were looking at each other like, all right, clutch them pearls. Yeah. It was some moments like, you're just an awesome guy. So I wanted to say thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing, you know, a bit of yourself that maybe some people didn't know about. I much appreciate it.
And he smells really good too.
By the way, he does. We both smelled him. And we were both like, oh my God, he smells so good, right? We was going to say, right, clutch our pearls. So he does smell amazing. By the way, ladies, you know something else about Wallace. So I want to say, for more shows like this, and we're always going to play the card game when we're live and when we're not live. But the whole point of this platform is for you guys to have an opportunity to really work through the tough conversations and have fun doing it. There's no place to have blame on one person versus the other. And Reggie, I really appreciate how he opens up about his relationship. But the thing is that Reggie said to me the other day, no relationship goes without obstacles. And Dr. Missy talked about that as well. You're going to have obstacles, but you can't give up. I think single people out there, we always wonder, what is it like to be married when you have two great examples? And of course, you don't have to have a concussion or anything like that to experience it. Disclaimer, Reggie, for you to understand the commitment that someone has to you. So I'm going to say thank you for joining us here at the 5 F's to Love podcast. Follow us on our multiple social media sites. There's too many now for me to name, but if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see the other sites as well. And you can join us via audio on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Podcaster. It's like a list of them. If you Google us, they'll come up. But thank you so much for having us into your space and into your home. And you guys are rock stars. You know, anytime you want to come back, you guys can look at any of our topics, and we would love to have you back. I would love to have you and Lee back. Lee's like a rock star.
Lee not coming.
Is Lee's not coming? Lee's not coming? No?
Later on tonight, he will.
He's shy.
He's shy? Oh my God. See, you know what? And I find that that's true, that they're an introvert and extrovert matches.
No, I let it go by.
Really? You let it go? Oh my God, she's amazing.
No, I heard Reggie. I just let it
You
go
heard
by.
Reggie?
Yeah.
I just want to let you guys know when we go off the air, it's a lot more that we're going to talk about, but it's time for us to go. I also want to thank our engineers in the back. They are such rock star, amazing guys. Bill, Larry, and Michael, you guys, I definitely, it goes without saying, without you, none of this ever happens. And I want to also thank my PR team, which is, and I say hoite, but it's actually hot. And you can reach them online, and you guys have seen their commercial, but this is an amazing company. They do amazing PR for me. And thank Trish Brown, who's also an extension of that team. So on behalf of the 5 F's to Love team, Reggie and I, we're going to say thank you. And so long. See you guys next Friday. My name is Christine Burkett, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, I don't know, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for downloading the 5 F's app.